Well, Carl, that was a ride. And I mean, it generates so much incredible suspense. And the end is just fabulous. But I want to backtrack and talk about the beginning, because we kind of gave a disclaimer at the beginning that there's a real rough start to the film. And I just think it's interesting if you can explain just why you did that. What was the purpose behind having such a rough opening on this film?
It's an inverted structure. Usually you have the protagonist who goes out into the world, has something that they want, and they go out into the world and they encounter the opposition, and they either overcome or they succumb to the opposition. In this case, the opposition is coming toward the protagonist. And so the protagonist is actually in one place. And so in order for him to be able to remain in one place, you need to know what he's up against, what's coming toward him. And so that was the reason why these guys had to be presented as really heinous killers. And also I wanted it to be emotional violence, more so than real graphic, kind of local news violence. The whole idea of the videotape playing with the girl while she's being stabbed, you want to realize that there's an absence of life and not, that it's anything to be excited about.
I think that's why the film is so incredibly effective, because there's an emotional involvement with the characters that you don't get in a lot of crime pictures.
Yeah.
And this film, right off the bat, I mean, you feel it so deeply and it's so horrifying, which really helps Michael Beach's performance, because he doesn't have to do much for the rest of the film to be absolutely terrifying.
He played it so convincingly with that. There was this cerebral thing about him. He was supposed to be a guy with an exceptionally high IQ, who was very smart and calculating, and someone who was a sociopath, basically, who was always in control and who basically did not have to really be that physical in order for people to kind of fear him. And people who liked the movie would come up to me and talk about how much they liked it, and then they'd say, and who was that black guy with the glasses? Everybody was saying that. And he was not nominated like the rest of us were for anything. And I think it's because people were afraid of him. I think he was so convincing, and I was actually worried for him that because he had played it so well, that it would hamper his career, and thank God that didn't happen.
And how about Cinda Williams? She is terrific in this film. Talk a little bit about how you cast her and what she brought to it.
Originally, I thought she was too attractive for the role. I thought she just seems too beautiful to be hanging out with these guys. But she was so quirky. She was so interesting. What she could do, where you sense the frailty in the character. She has this ability to be very private in a public situation, to do things on camera that, little things that just somehow you kind of feel like that you're watching something you're not supposed to watch. And just in general, a kind of insecurity that explained why someone so beautiful would be hanging out with these cats.
Right, which I thought worked brilliantly, because I think your reaction when you see her with these guys is, you're better than this.
Yeah.
Why are you with these guys?
Yeah.
So the audience is very sympathetic to her and wants her to survive and get out of it all, Anyway, it's just a fantastic movie, Carl.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love presenting movies to people, but these particular films have meant a lot to me, and our friendship has meant a lot to me.
Sweet.
And I hope people enjoyed these films as much as I do. And thank you so much for coming on and doing
Pleasure.
this with us.
Yeah.
Absolutely great.
Yeah.
So I hope you've enjoyed Carl Franklin, Devil in a Blue Dress, and One False Move.